Hello class. So in this video I'm going to show you how to do what would amount to these dotted lines to connect the various floor plans together. This is my house, the sort of finished one. I'll show you how to do it in the one I've been working on, but I figured I'd start out by showing what the finished look will be like, um, so that you know what I'm talking about. Essentially, I'm going to try to create these dotted lines. Now I did not place all these dots independently. There's a quick way of doing it by working with brushes, and so I will show you how to do that here. We're just going to go over to this drawing here that I've started. And I have not finished the poche, but you can imagine the wall poche from the last video was finished. It doesn't matter for this step. And I'm going to again make a new layer, and I'm going to call it lines or connecting lines. Like this. And I'm going to keep my foreground color set to black, although again, maybe you can experiment with another color. I'm going to go to my brush, and I'm going to go to brush settings, which are over here. Now, if your brush settings are not coming up, you're going to have to go to Window and click on brush settings in that location right here to have it checked. Now this is a pretty simple thing. Now you can do a bunch of things in brush settings that I haven't really gone over much in class. I think I have some other videos on YouTube how to use them to make flowers and grass and other things that architects might use them for. There's lots of things you can do to play around because each one of these has its own settings. But for this, all I need to do is change the spacing. And so I already, from the last step, I already have set up a hard round brushed set, and all I'm going to do is come to spacing, and I'm just going to pull this apart, and as I start going further and further apart, we see the little preview starts turning into dotted lines, and you just want to bring this slider across to about the spacing you want those lines to be. Now we're also going to have to work on line weight, so we might have to go back and forth, but I'm going to say, you know what, that looks pretty good. Let me start by working on that. And so I can close this and I can zoom in, and typically I'll start from a bottom corner such as this, and I'll click on that corner, and just like before, I'm going to hold shift to draw a straight line, and I'm going to draw it up. All right, and we can see I purposely drew it over my building because there's a little cantilever here, so I need to hide this line. And we can say, okay, well that looks good. Quite honestly, I think that looks a little thin. So I'm going to undo that. Don't need to do that. I'm going to start by changing my thickness. I probably should have done this first, but you know, I might go to something like it's probably not going to need to change a lot. I'm going to try 9, and I can draw a little line here and see. I'm just squiggling around. Does that? Yeah, that looks like it might. If I pull out, I think that'll work. 9 might work. 10 might be better, but I can do 9, and we can see the dots are still working. So I'm going to try again. I'm going to click here. I'm going to hold shift and pull up. Now in this case I wanted the line to extend because it's connected in the back, but the reality is I don't want this piece here, and so I can go, if I overshoot like that, I'm just going to go to my poly lasso, draw an area around the little overshot area there, and delete it. And there we go, it's going to the top there. I'll go back to brush, and my settings should be good, so I'll start at the same corner, hold shift up to this corner, and we got that corner all nice. For this inset corner, it's sort of hard to determine. I might actually work my way down this case, so I might click on for that interior corner and come down to there, and come over to my edge here and click and hold shift, and I'm just going to work my way all the way around. These back corners can also be done from the back corner. Again, you only want to go up to the drawing. If you need to trim it like I did before, you go ahead and trim it. Should do all the corners, so I'm going to need that one as well. And then once you have one floor done, you go up and do the exact same thing to the next floor. I click on one corner, hold shift and come up, click on one corner, hold shift and come up. And in this case the house only goes to those edges, not all the way around, so I click and hold shift and go up. I think I missed my shift there on that one. That looks a little crooked. That was my mistake. So I'll undo that, hold shift, go up, and start down. There we go. Either direction it works, and there we go. I've got my dotted lines, and I got my dotted lines here. Now one thing now that you'll see is, because I'm working with the transparent PNGs, I have this white checkerboard pattern. That's all the checkerboard means. It won't print out. I turned it to white here. You can see I've added a background that was white, and I can do that to this guy as well if it helps for clarity's sake. So I'm going to make a new layer. I'm just going to pull it all the way to the bottom. I'm going to go to select all, and I'm going to go to edit, fill, and I'm going to change it to contents to white and say OK. And now we can see, I can see those dotted lines a lot better. And that's the end of this drawing. So of course you want to save this, you want to print it out for class. I'll make one more video on the section perspective, which is also part of the assignment too, but those steps are identical to these in pretty much every way, except for turning it into a perspective. So that'll then be the end of this series. Good luck.